Hi everyone, this is going to be a back to school makeup look. It's kind of dread back to school, but it is coming at the end of August or early September, so I thought I'd start doing a few back to school looks. Okay, let's get started. For my foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse foundation. My color is Classic Ivory. Okay, I'm taking a scoop like that, and I'm going to warm this up between my fingertips so that it will blend easier. And if you do that, it's so much easier to blend. Really much easier. And it goes on super quick. I need a little bit more, so I'm just going to dip in, warm, spread. It's like if you don't warm it up first, it wants to clump up, but once it's a little bit warm with your body heat, it really blends nicely. My lighting is a little funky today because of the time of day I'm doing this. I hope you can see okay. It's kind of a glare right here. Okay, next I'm going to conceal with the Dream Mousse Concealer. My color is light. Once again, I'm dipping my finger in, my little finger, or my ring finger. Okay, and I just want a little bit of product, and you want to dab, don't rub, because it'll crease. Dab. If this foundation and concealer are applied correctly, they have really nice coverage, but if you rub too much, they tend to clump up or crease. Okay, I'm going in for a little bit more, and I want to dab. Especially I've been having some under eye and eyelid dryness. And if you have a lot of dryness, like if you have rough patches, I would not recommend this concealer because it'll just highlight those. I would recommend a creamy concealer that will kind of provide some moisture. And make sure you moisturize before you put this on if you have dry patches. But the reason why I'm using this is because when I was a kid, we did not have air-conditioned schools, so you didn't want to wear something that was going to be really greasy. And since this provides a matte finish, I think it's really good for those first couple weeks of back to school when you're just so hot and ugh. But maybe you're lucky and you have an air-conditioned school, but I never did. So you never wanted to wear real heavy makeup. Okay, I'm going into the Dream Mousse blush, and my color is Peach Satin. I'm going to smile, and I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to put it here. If you put it right on the front apples of your cheeks, you're just going to give yourself like you have redness. So you want to put it kind of on the sides of the apples of your cheeks. And just blend in with your fingers. Do the same on the other side. I kind of draw it in a line and then blend it out toward my temple. And I'm going to use a powder blush to set this, and the powder blush I'm going to use is NYC, what is this called? Cheek Glow, and the color is Central Park Pink. So I'm taking a blush brush. I think this is from Essence of Beauty. I'm going in, tapping off a little, and smile, and place it right where you put your cream blush. Okay, now I'm going to set my foundation with some powder. I'm using Coty Airspun. The color's just translucent. It's not extra coverage or anything. And I broke through my little plastic barrier, so I just have to really tap my brush off really well. Okay, I'm just going to put this all over, even over the blush, because it'll help set it. Over my concealer. Make sure I blend it out. Get my nose really well, because that tends to be shiny. And my forehead. And my chin. Those are my three shiny spots usually. Okay, and that's it for the face. I didn't even use a primer or anything. Now let's move into the eyes. For the eyes today, I'm using a neutral palette by Covergirl called Shimmering Nudes. Okay, for the lid, I'm not going to use a primer for this either. Oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to get, okay, there we go. For the lid, I'm going to go into this second from the left. And it's like a mirror image, so it's confusing. Okay, anyway, it's like a shimmery light shimmery tan. And I'm just going to place that all over my lid. Later on, I'll show you how to do some colors for back to school, but today I thought I would start with a neutral. It's good to have a neutral look in your repertoire. And there are ways that you can do colors, like some of the other tutorials I've done, like I did a turquoise one and it's really full of color. But there are ways to use the colors that you love that aren't so dramatic. Okay, for the crease, I'm going into this darkest shade right here. I'm only going to use 3 of these colors today. Going into my crease, bringing it up. And I'm not going to do an outer V, because for school you don't necessarily want a real smoked out look. I mean, you can definitely do that if you want, but for today, I'll show you how to do that later on with some other tutorials. Because there are ways to have fun with your makeup and still look like if you have a dress code or something that doesn't want you to wear a lot of makeup, there are ways that you can still work in your favorite colors and still look tasteful, I guess, or conservative or professional. Of course, professional differs depending on what your profession is, but this is also a good look for work, especially if you are in kind of a conservative environment. Okay, and last, I'm going to go into this lightest shimmer shade right here. And I'm going to highlight my brow bone with that. And come into the inner corner a bit. If you wanted to deepen up your crease, I would use a smaller brush, but use the same crease color, and it won't blend quite as much. Here, I'll show you how you can do that. Just tap in, and you're just going to tap in to your outer corner. You're just layering another layer of color, but you're not going to blend it all out. You're just going to kind of leave it like that. See? Right there. Okay, and that's it for eyeshadow. Next, I'm using a pencil liner because when you are up at 6 o'clock in the morning getting ready for school, you don't always want to have to deal with the precision of a liquid liner. And this is Revlon Colorstay in brown. And I'm just sketching. With a pencil liner, for me, it's really hard to just draw straight across. So I sketch. And then come down. Okay, now, one thing you could do is you could take it all the way in, but for school, I kind of like to just leave it on the outer corner there, and then smudge it out. I'm just going to use my finger, because I forgot to grab my smudger. But I'm just going to smudge it toward my inner corner. And it gives a very pretty look, which is what we're going for when we want to go to school. We want to look pretty for all the boys and for ourselves. Okay. So another thing you could do is you could take the plastic edge and use that to smudge. See, it works really well. And see how I kind of have a little creasing right there? I'm just going to use the plastic edge to smudge that. So you don't always have to have the exact tool that you want. You can improvise. So I'll do that over here some too so you can see. Okay. Last for the eyes mascara, I'm using one by Maybelline, the Colossal Volume Express Waterproof. And I'm using waterproof because if you're in a non-air conditioned school, you don't want your mascara to end up under your eye from sweating, or like if you're in gym class outside, especially towards the beginning of the year. It seems like they have gym outside a lot, and it's usually still pretty hot. Usually in the States, in the Midwest, it's usually hot until October. Okay, that's it for our eyes. And the last thing we're going to do, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible lip gloss in this color. Is Camellia. It's a rosy pink. It has some gold undertones in it. And this you could just stick in your purse and reapply throughout the day. It's supposed to last 6 hours, but you know, if you're talking and eating and chewing gum or candy, it's not going to last 6 hours. Which is why we stick it in our purse to reapply throughout the day. Okay? And that is a fresh-faced back-to-school look. Thanks for watching. Bye.